shit. Sorry. Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Jeff Long. Welcome back to another fabulous episode of the Death, Taxes, and Sports podcast. My name is Jeff Long, a.k.a. SK, that dude with the name. I'm here with several of my esteemed colleagues, Ben Holloway, and I want to make sure I pronounce this correctly because she dropped the beat on that. You know what, Marisa? Here's what we're going to do.
There you go. You got it.
We're going to let you drop the mic, and we're just going to let everyone know how to pronounce your name. We're going to get off, and we're going to let you tell everybody. Just do it.
Oh, all right. Well, hello. Greetings, Death, Taxes, and Sports fans from around the world that are watching right now. So, since joining this amazing crew of Ben and Jeff and Gary and the distinguished guests that we've had on the show, my name has been mispronounced from the get-go. So I have a podcast that I do, the Heard That with Marisa Tigney podcast. And so I want everybody to know from the beginning of the show until forevermore, and when we do our show live, I'm speaking that into existence. My name is pronounced Marisa, Marisa. I want everybody to make sure they pronounce it right, say it right, spell it right.
Let's go. Marisa.
I'm one of the guilty.
Marisa, fan of the Detroit Lions that are now of the NFC North first place. Now you won't forget who I am.
Yeah.
Let's go. All of us. You know what we all have in common this NFL season? All of us are winners.
Let's go.
Oh, Denver finally got a win.
All of
Denver
us,
is on the board.
Denver got a win.
Confetti.
Go.
Confetti.
Yes. Let me tell you. We were down 28-7.
But then,
I left. Literally. My wife's watching. Taylor Long, I love you, baby. We left to go see the mother-in-law because my Broncos were down 28-7. Wow. I was like, oh, this is over. And I started seeing the ESPN clicks on 28-14.
28-21. 28-28.
28-20. I was like, hold on now.
Did you think it was a tease at first when you saw the score getting in your favor? Did you think it was a tease? Like, okay, they're gonna probably let me down in the last 2 minutes.
I mean, like, listen, it's like one of like 3 wins we're gonna get. But you know what? Listen, all I'm gonna say is, Broncos, I need you to tank. I need you to suck. Tank for Caleb. Like the game this Sunday was the tank for Caleb Bowl. Just suck. Lose, go 0-17 because you get Caleb Williams.
I mean, listen, Chicago may have you beat. I know that we're going to go into that later, but with the way that it's looking for that franchise right now and everything that's been happening.
Let's kick it off. Miami Buffalo. Let's do it.
Let's get to it, Ben. Ben, are you feeling better this week?
Oh, I'm good. Don't worry. I'm good.
Let's go, Ben.
Let's go, Ben. I'm always good.
Hold on, Ben. 38 reasons why you should feel good. 38 reasons. Let's go.
We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. Now's not the time. Now's not the time.
Tonight we're going to be discussing Week 4 of the NFL season. Gary Johnson will wake up from his nap at some point this year, maybe 2027. We're going to re-rank the first 4 QBs because I think the up and down with all these quarterbacks in the class of 2021, Marisa, was big. And if we were NFL GMs of a expansion franchise, who's our first #1 overall pick on offense and defense? I can't wait to give my defensive pick because it ain't going to be someone you least. It's going to be someone you least expect. You think someone on defense, you think I'm going to pick somebody, but it ain't going to be that somebody. We're going to pick.
In the words of the great Aaliyah, are you that somebody? Tell me you that somebody.
Exactly. So, first topic, man. You know, this Bills in Miami game. This one is going to be a little bit of fun because there were a couple tweets, and there was one tweet where it was what was it more telling of between Miami or Buffalo? And I think that this story is kind of the same thing. Miami, a lot of fluff, a lot of hype, deservedly so. After they put they've had a couple good games, Then they turn around.
70.
We don't need to talk about that. They scored a 7-0 on a team that we don't need to name, and then they completely drop a dud, 48-20 against the Bills. The Von Miller-less Bills. You wait till he comes back. They're going to go undefeated. Marisa, just give me your thoughts on this game. And, just as we stand here today, who do we predict, given the Mills' health, wins the AFC East between those two teams?
I hate to say it, but I'm sorry, Dolphins fans, your Cinderella moment has been just extinguished. The mice go back into the stagecoach go back into the mice, and the men you go back into the pumpkin. I may be saying it backwards, but it was a great run while it lasted. Listen, gentlemen, Josh Allen wants to erase the stench of week one and how he just did not. He wasn't himself. The throws, the interceptions, the lack of completions, the lack of focus, the frustration on the offense. He wants to erase that so bad from his memory and make sure that the Buffalo Bills are actual contenders to wrap up the AFC, to actually be people to speak their name as to a shot to the Super Bowl. We keep hearing on it, different media outlets and we have text back and forth, Dallas Cowboys. No offense, Ben, whatsoever, especially the way that they played and handled Bill Belichick's lackluster Patriots. But when you look at this Dolphins team, and I'm not taking any away from the talents that they have, and again, they're doing this. And I can't recall if Jalen Waddle played or not. I know that he was supposed to be coming back, or whatever the case was. But Bills are back to handling business. They want everybody to remember who they are and what their main goal is, and that is to stop coming short of taking their team to the promised land, which is beyond a playoff game or two, and getting them to the pinnacle, which is the Super Bowl in Las Vegas, and winning the whole thing and having the confetti fall in their team colors. And
Marisa, I hear you. And Ben, you and I have talked about this enough about the Bills. And I wish Gary the Nap Johnson would wake the hell up. Gary, wake up.
Gary is depressed about his Giants right now. Let him have a moment.
I feel like, and Marisa, I think you put a lot of facts on here, but and Ben, we talk about this a lot about the Bills, and we see these games in week 4, and Super Bowls aren't won in week 4. I think they are the favorites to win this division, but I still think Miami's going to do it, not because they beat the Bills, but I think overall their upside is a little bit higher against other competitions because they're more versatile on offense, i.e., two-headed monster. Jeff Wilson's going to come back. They have 2 of the best receivers. Their defense with Jalen Ramsey is going to get better, and they almost beat the Bills at home without Tua. So I look at it and I'm like, yes, the Bills are exciting, but they're still kind of very top-heavy as far as it's the Josh Allen to Stephon Diggs. Outside of that, McCabe. Who else is really scaring you? But Ben, go ahead. And
I was going to say before you jump in, Ben, I feel, and this is my last point on it, and then Ben take over. Weeks 5, forget about the bye, but weeks 5 through the rest of the season, it's only going to be a two-person team. It's a 2-team race. Forget about the back half of their division. It's only going to be 2 teams. It's going to be who can prove a point of why they belong to where, to first place in the wrap-up division between now week 5 and when the season ends.
Okay. It's going to be fun.
It's going to be a great watch.
Indeed. Gary, welcome back. But Ben, we're talking about your Buffalo Bills, Gary, and a certain defensive player that's not back yet, but he'll be back. But go ahead, Ben.
Yes. So go ahead, Gary.
No, I was confirming. He said my Buffalo Bills.
Well, because your boy's coming back. Your boy's coming back in a couple weeks.
Gary, let it simmer for a minute.
Go ahead, Ben. Let that simmer. Go ahead, Ben.
Marisa makes a lot of good points, and she's very confident in what she says, and she certainly could be right, but we do not agree on this, who wins the division. And she could be right, I could be right. That's what makes sports sports. She makes a lot of good points. She's very knowledgeable, but I don't agree. So for me personally, there's a couple of reasons. One, it's easy, and I'm not accusing you of this, Marissa, don't take it this way, but it's easy to make grand, large conclusions from one game. And I'm even going to give a Cowboys example, not from this year, last year.
No, through this year.
We went into Minnesota and played the most perfect game of last year of any team. But guess what? It was one game. When it come down to January, what happened? The same thing that happened for the last 28 years. So it's one game. Granted, Buffalo looked amazing. They did everything they needed to do, everything that they were pumped up. Like you said, Josh Allen is pissed off from week 1 when he played horribly and was the Jets' best player. So he's motivated. I understand that. And I get their so as far as Bills Miami, I still think Miami is going to win the division given health, because that's what we're talking about here. If Tyreek, Waddle, Tua play at least 15 games, I got them winning the AFC East, and what happened on Sunday does not change that, because the Buffalo Bills won a game and the Miami Dolphins lost a game, whether it was 24-23 or 48-20. It's one win, it's one loss. So for me personally, I picked Miami in April, and nothing has changed so far for me. So I'm sticking with Miami winning the division.
Ben, when the next few games going into, you got the rest of October and almost of November, on paper, the Bills should win these games. They are at home against the Jaguars. Then they host the Giants. Then they go on the road against the Patriots. And my thing went out. Then they host the Buccaneers. They go on the road against the Bengals. They host the Broncos. They host the Jets. That right there until November 26th, when everybody is eating the rest of their Thanksgiving leftovers that weekend. That's when the schedule is going to be showing if this team can finish strong, because
Miami's schedule is barely tougher. It's a little bit tougher, but not by much.
Ben, like, there's going to be one loss against the 1-3 Denver Broncos. You heard we're going to the Super Bowl, if you haven't heard. But no, honestly though, like, to be completely frank with you though, I think that Jaguars game is going to be a little bit more competitive, because I really think that this game, their last game, Trevor Lawrence was more of a, not necessarily a get right game, but I think that game is going to be a little bit more competitive. I'm just saying.
And there's no home field advantage. It's in Mexico. It's in Mexico.
Yeah, and Ben, and I'm back. That's your name now. I'm back.
And there's no Toy Story involved, so you never know.
Yeah. So Gary, I want to throw you this question. Obviously, overall thoughts, but the question I want to throw you specifically, because you said this a lot, if not now, when? Do you believe that in order for the Bills to be able to win, it's going to be more top-heavy performance between two players in offense, between Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen? Because that's how I feel. I don't feel the running game is consistent, and I feel that Dalton Kincaid, as much as hype as he's been, he's not necessarily going to knock it out the ballpark. But your overall thoughts?
Well, I mean, I agree with you as far as if Buffalo is going to win, it's got to be on the backs of Diggs and Josh Allen. Historically, their running game, at least as of this last run where they've actually been a playoff contender, their running game has always been whoever they can get off the scrap heap. Your Zach Mosses, your Devin Singletaries, people of that nature. Like they can get, and just they pray that Allen can still run, he can still throw. So they're kind of like they are the equivalent to the modern day fullback, in my opinion, as far as on the Buffalo side. Like, they're there, but they're not really there. They're there because the position has to be on the field for it, technically. So, as far as who's going to win this division, Ben, you made a very valid point. It is one game. I think, if for nothing else, it was a confidence booster for Buffalo to kind of like add credence to their stake as being the best team in the division. I think Miami, listen, there was no way you were going to replicate what you did the week prior. Like, That was an all-time game. Whatever this game was going to be against them was not going to be anything close to that. I didn't think it would. I expected 20 points from Miami. I did not expect 48 from Buffalo, but hey, that happens. I think it's, like you guys have all said, and you guys have all made these clear points. It's a 2-team race. You can ignore the Jets, you could ignore the Patriots. This is now the war of attrition between Buffalo and Miami. You're going to see like that second game between them is going to be huge because obviously, division could be on the line, home field advantage in the playoffs could be on the line, number one seed. You don't know. You don't know what we're going to see. Like, Kansas City's been good, but not spectacular. So, listen, that one seed could easily be up for grabs. So, for one of these two teams, they're both going to take something away from it. Buffalo's going to take away from it. We can put up that kind of scoring with anybody, even the better teams like that. Miami's going to go, okay, we took one on the chin, but it's early enough in the season that we can bounce back from it.
Yeah, and Ben, before I throw it to you, I think it's and I don't like to get too ahead of myself when it comes to teams within the first 4 games. I've said it like to wait until at least week 8 to really see who's real, but I think we've seen enough in the AFC to decide, okay, there are different tiers. There's tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. Tier 1, we know Kansas City because of Pat Mahomes, receivers doesn't matter. Josh Allen, and the Bills, but we know what they're going to be. They're very top heavy. Miami. I think it's going to be one of those 3 teams. And then I think the Denver Broncos are going to be number 4 because they're going to go undefeated the rest of the way, completely lying. And then you got like a whole bunch of teams in there, right? You got like the Ravens, the Browns, just like a mix between tier 2. But then tier 3 is really, really bad. And the Bengals, I think, are in tier 3 because they're 1-3 versus starting at 0-2. And if Joe Burrow was healthy, I would give them a chance, but he's going to have to sit 1 or 2 games.
I'm going to save my Joe Burrow comment for later because I got something there. But
no, go ahead and say it. No.
Well, you want me to say it right now? I'll say it right now. So Joe Burrow. Okay, so let's be honest here. I keep it real, one way or the other. And Joe Burrow got paid massive extension as he deserved, right? He goes to the Super Bowl. He goes to the AFC Championship game, very close to another Super Bowl. If that guy, that defensive player didn't shove Mahomes out of bounds, definitely was going to go to overtime. Maybe the Bengals go to the Super Bowl last year. Okay, so he gets his huge extension, which, again, he deserves. So he has a calf injury, obviously, that originally occurred, I believe,
July 27th.
July. Yeah, there we go. So the calf injury, he doesn't practice for I think 5 or 6 weeks. Maybe it was 4, yeah. So he doesn't practice, and then he starts practicing, and all the way until like Wednesday or Thursday of week 1, he wasn't officially going to start until I think it was Friday of week 1 they announced he was starting. And we've seen 4 games now. We have a sample size. It's not 1. It's not 2. We have 4 games. The Bengals offense right now is trash. Absolute trash. They scored 3. They scored 3 points twice. 4 of their games, they scored 3 points. They lost 27-3 twice.
And T. Higgins is probably not going to play because of a broken rib, so it's only going to get.
So the thing is, we can say there's a myriad of issues with the Bengals. Fine, the offensive line sucks. Well, guess what? It sucked for 4 years. He's been able to overcome it, but right now, clearly, he can't overcome it. And I never wish injury on anyone. I don't care who it is. I don't want anyone to get hurt. But the Bengals, by continuing to play him, are taking a massive risk because Aaron Rodgers, before he tore his Achilles, had a calf injury.
Kevin Durant, can we just
had a calf injury, tore his Achilles. The Bengals are playing with fire, and you are being really, really, really dangerous. And you want this quarterback to be your quarterback for the next 15 years. That's why you pay him what you pay him. Which means if you got to sit him for 3 weeks or 4 weeks, you got to sit him. And they are doing a malpractice by putting him out there.
I don't think
I feel really strongly. I feel really strongly. I do too.
Joe Burrow wants to be the leader and he wants to play. But I know we could talk about this. We have spent 20 minutes talking about
Let's go to the
We can
2020
talk
Shout
QBs.
out to a feisty Ben Holloway, though.
Right?
Let's
Look at that. The
go. Yes,
Cowboys
sir.
Who said Cowboys fans had
Yes, come on, Ben. I felt that.
Man,
I agree.
Man, they are making a huge mistake.
Okay,
Huge mistake.
So let's go these 2021 NFL draft QBs. We'll rank them. I'm going to give the numbers. Agree, disagree, 1 through 4. Shouldn't be too long. So Trevor Lawrence, 3 seasons career stats, 63.4 percentage completion, passing percentage completion, 8,600 yards, 41 touchdowns, the 27 INTs, has an 89 passer rating. I have number 1, Justin Fields, 60% passer rating, completion percentage, 5,000 yards passing, 31 touchdowns to 26 interceptions. But the man had 1,100 yards rushing, hence why I have number 2. And then Zach Wilson and Trey Lance and then Mac Jones. Yeah, they have numbers. They exist. So outside of Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, it's really a toss-up. Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Mac Jones. Mac Jones has gotten benched, I think, like every other day that he breathes, he gets benched. Zach Wilson, well, we know where that's going. And Trey Lance, well, he only has 5 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and only has 797 yards completion. And, well, he's Trey Lance. We know how that goes. So, Marisa.
100% agree with your list.
I mean,
you can't speak. I mean, what resume do we have on Trey Lance? I can't even come up with 5 plays that he did.
I figured it was going to be a short one, but, I just want to leave it open for discussion. I think it's been very clear. I think it's also, Marisa, I think it's been very clear that this draft class has been rather underwhelming. Justin Fields has had success, but I think Chicago is a dumpster fire. Trevor Lawrence had his first decent year, wasn't a great year. 41 touchdowns to 27 interceptions, completing 63.4% of your passes. I mean, it's good, but not great. And the likes of Andrew Luck or Carson Palmer.
When you have a defensive-minded coach as your head coach, what development is a quarterback going to get for him to excel to the next level? That's part of the problem going on in Chicago. Justin Fields, here's the thing. Justin Fields, I don't know what he's being coached to do as far as, because we can look at these quarterbacks and we can see the talent is there, but for some reason, for 3 seasons, he is either told to scale back, or some of the coaches there is literally setting him up for failure. If he was in a situation where he was in the quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons, I can see that being a better situation for him than what's going on with Chicago.
Drake London and Kyle Pitts will be relevant in fantasy. They would be relevant.
That's exactly my point. And I don't see the success rate that's going to be happening for Justin Fields for the rest of this season. Even if they win 1 or 2 games, gentlemen, we are becoming the 1 anniversary of their last win, Week 7 against New England. This is absolutely an embarrassment for him going into his 3rd season, and they're still searching for a win. They're on a short week right now, getting ready to play at Washington, who literally is optimistic and feeling themselves. Eric Bieniemy is proving the fact that these teams that pass him up as a head coach, they're punching air right now, because slowly but surely, Washington Commanders is going to get it, and they're going to be talked about in a conversation as a postseason playoff team.
Oh, I got a Commander's take too, but I'll let
go ahead.
Simmer.
You can't do that. You got to do it.
It's just unfortunate that he's not being set up for success right now currently with this team. They're going to have barely losses, and it's going to be a 2-team race on who is going to literally tank for Caleb Williams. And if it ends up being the Chicago Bears, they get the first 2 picks of the draft, and Justin Fields is not going to be in the Chicago Bears uniform coming next season, and there will be a whole haul of players that are going to be shown the door to make room for Caleb Williams.
And Ben, before we toss it to you, I want to get Gary in this conversation. Gary, your thoughts, and Ben, give your thoughts on Chicago, because I feel you're probably going to need like 15 minutes for that.
No, I don't know.
No, it's all good. It's all good, Ben. But Gary, toss it in, and then Ben will throw it to you.
when looking at these quarterbacks, you're asking us to really pick the smartest horse here. Like, there's not. This is not a pretty bunch. Justin Fields, what can you say? Like, it's been one thing after another there, but it's just like we all know Chicago is they're doing their best to tank. I thought Arizona was at first. I thought they were going to lead the league and showing everybody how to tank properly. But no, Chicago said, "Hold my beer," and we're going to do that. So, he's going to be the martyr in all this. He'll end up as a someplace else. And I mean, listen, there's a team in East Rutherford that's not Tyrod Taylor, but I digress. Trey Lance gets an incomplete because I think I've seen him. Definitely seen him more in college than I have in the pros. So sorry. And then Zach Wilson.
Let's have pause.
Like, you were wanted, and then you weren't wanted, and then we got Aaron Rodgers, and then Aaron Rodgers, his Achilles decided to quit on him, and now you're back in this weird position of nobody wants you, but you're here, so let's make the best of it, and the best, and continuing to be the Patriots bitch, continuing to embarrass yourselves on primetime television. All these primetime games that the NFL scheduled for the Jets now is you want to talk about punching air. The NFL scheduling department is punching air right now. Like, thank God for being able to flex some of these games out, because otherwise this is going to be a real brutal primetime schedule. And I guess with Trevor Lawrence, I think he's in an environment now where he can be successful and be the best quarterback in the AFC South. Although CJ Stroud is knocking on that door real, real hard right now, is making making that conversation a lot more interesting than I thought the AFC South was going to be this season. I got to be honest.
Listen, and Ben, before I throw it to you, here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say that we talk about narratives a lot. There's no reason why the Jaguars do not run away with this division. And if they don't run away with this division and dominate the games they're supposed to dominate, the fact that they lost to the Texans and gave up 37 points, I just feel the Jaguars are cursed. I feel they're a cursed franchise. And Gary, I know you like to say if not now, when? But Trevor Lawrence, I don't want to hear any more excuses as to why he doesn't take it to another level this year. Calvin Ridley, Travis Etienne, Christian Kirk, Doug Peterson's come back another year removed from Urban Meyer. Like, he's just going to be another quarterback that's just good, and that is just there. But his numbers aren't warranting for even an average rating. His numbers have been pretty atrocious. How to turn it around? There's no reason. But Ben, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'll go quick 1 through 5. You guys did a lot of great analysis, so I don't really need to add anything. I go Trevor Lawrence 1, Justin Fields 2, Mac Jones 3, Zach Wilson 4, Trey Lance 5. You cannot grade Trey Lance. He's played in like 3 games.
Daniel
Trey Lance was born May of 2020 or May of 2000. He's only 23 years old. I don't know. The man, sorry, Jeff. What I was going to say is I would not be surprised. I'm not predicting it, but I would not be surprised if we get November, December, if Trey Lance doesn't make appearances inside the 5-yard line. Because you telling me he can't run a read option inside the 5, especially as of right now, Dallas's red zone offense is absolutely horrible. So you're telling me, like, what's the worst that can happen if you try it like once? Ben,
or twice?
Ben, are you saying that Trey Lance possibly is a bust?
How can you know? He's barely played. He's probably attempted less than 100 passes in his NFL
Yeah,
career.
I really want to throw you this honest question, and then Marisa, I really want your thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Will the Cowboys win a Super Bowl with Dak Prescott? Like honestly, like put all of it to the side. Is Dak who he is? Because at this point, I just don't.
I still have question marks. I really do. I really do. If you would ask me that, and Trayvon Diggs did not get a season-ending injury because the defense has been outstanding, stellar with him, it can pretty much aid this team each week into the postseason and beyond. I would say there's probably like a 78% chance. But I still have question marks when it comes to him. Not discrediting his leadership. I'm not taking away from his talent ability. I'm not taking away from his arm strength or how he is in the pocket. I'm not taking away from that. But Jeff, you said the key question: can he lead this team to a Super Bowl?
Yeah, it's not the talent. He's talented. It's just
very talented. Very talented.
So can I answer the question?
Yeah, go for it.
No. Because he's the absolute main reason we lost to the 49ers the last 2 years in the playoffs.
Yeah, you said that several times.
Defense did its job both years,
Mm-hmm.
and he did not. And by did not, he played like probably an F both years. It was horrible. And I know the 49ers defense is great. I understand.
Mm-hmm.
But at some point, it doesn't matter how amazing your defense is. This is not the 2000 Ravens that can win a Super Bowl with Trent Dilfer. That is not this NFL. At some point in the playoffs, you need your quarterback to lead a game-winning drive.
That part.
And I'm sorry, Dak, you could do it, but you haven't. You haven't done it yet.
I just don't think he's going to.
I don't think he's going to. And you said it before, Ben, in the points that you've made about it have been spot on. I don't.
He's got to show me.
Yeah.
He hasn't shown it yet. Can he do it? Sure. Will he do it? I don't know. He's got to show it. That's it.
I can see a Brock Purdy last pick in the draft 2 years ago, leading that 49ers team. I can confidently say that he can lead them to the Super Bowl than Dak leading the Dallas Cowboys currently at this moment.
It's facts. It's facts.
I can't disagree.
Let's keep this thing rolling.
Yeah, let's keep it moving.
Yeah, let's keep this thing rolling. We can talk about it. Gary, just real quick, do you think Dak's going to lead the Cowboys Super Bowl? Yay, nay? Probably no. You want it on this too? Gotta throw your bone there, buddy.
Don't be so honest, Gary. Take your time.
Respectfully, no. I don't think. I think as long as Jerry Jones is still breathing, the Cowboys don't win a championship.
Yeah, he's got to. Yeah. I mean,
there I said it.
There we go. Okay. All right. Well, this topic is going to be really fun. So, if you're a GM of an expansion football team out of current NFL players, who's the defensive player that you're going to select? Who, out of all the defensive players that you can select, Gary, who would I pick out of all the defensive players that I would select first? Honestly, that would be your boy Patrick Surtain. Oh, who do you thought I was going to say?
No, it's funny that I actually said Patrick Surtain at the same time as you. That's
okay.
Funny. Okay, that wasn't planned, folks, because I knew he was going to zig we all thought he was going to zag on that and say Von Miller, but
I mean, he's number two.
I said Von Miller on this show. You're welcome.
Okay, all right. So you thought I was going to say? I mean, if I had a second round pick, I'd pick Von Miller, but I'm going to say Patrick Surtain. I don't think he's going to be a Bronco by this time next year, because of our roster's trash. The amount of money we're going to have to pay him. We are a long way out from contention, and it doesn't make sense to pay top dollar for a premium corner that we're not in contention. But Patrick Surtain has been box office. I was mad when we drafted him over Justin Fields, but 131 tackles, 28 assists, 6 interceptions, 1 touchdown, back-to-back Pro Bowl appearances. He shuts down half of the field. I think he's almost there as far as the best cornerback in the league. Definitely top 3, shuts down half of your defense. I'm going to say him, but just because I know it's going to piss Gary off, I'm going to say Von Miller for honorable mention. 561 tackles, 130 assists, and 123.5 sacks. That's Hall of Fame best linebacker Von Miller. You Bills Mafia, you better wait. Something special about to come on. And I just ordered my my Von Miller Bills jersey because they about to do something special. But yeah, buddy. But Gary, let's get you in this conversation. Well, what do you think of my Von Miller? I'm kidding. But
let's go.
But I don't know, Gary, your thoughts. Who's the defensive who's going to be defensive player?
Let's go, Gary.
And then Marissa, let's get you in here because I know you got time. No, let's do this. Marissa,
let's go, Gary. Oh, you can't put a clip
on me. Wait. Let Marissa give her defensive answer and her offensive.
Because I know you got to go. So do your defense, offense, and Gary Legend will go.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, here's
Marissa,
the thing.
The
Forgive me.
Yours.
Because I did all kinds of notes on here because you know what I did? I dipped into the NFL and I dipped into college. So apologize for me. Okay.
Do it.
So I did Patrick Surtain. Also, I did. Shout out to the room. I did Patrick Surtain for everything that you just listed about him. I looked at the college for the upcoming draft because I was like, shoot, if I was have an expansion team and I wanted to pull somebody from the college rankings for a defensive player with the greatest name that I've ever heard, and I had to look this up because I could not believe that's his actual name, out of Florida State, Kool-Aid McKinstry, cornerback out of Florida State. When I tell you that this young man is so explosive off the line and he's quick and he's agile and his physicality is just like bam. And I'm like, listen, if your name is friggin' Kool-Aid, then you better just bring it. And he does. And for his size, which I was really surprised, 6'1", and I think 211 pounds. I mean, I could see him going in the first round, you know, and pans out for him. And as well, he'll get invited to the combine for sure. Because what Florida State is doing there is just absolutely wild what's going on there. So I got that. And then as far as offensive player, I mean, of course, I'm going to dip into my Lions, of course, because, you know, the Kings of the North. I mean, hello, Amon-Ra St. Brown. I'm going to go with him. I mean, everything that he's doing right now for the Lions and the catches that he's making and the agility is there. And I mean, I can go on and on about the, you know, us being in first place right now and being where we need to be. Thank you very much for that. But if I was also going into the college rankings, and again, I'm going to show love to your Buckeye there one more time, and I'll say it till the draft comes, is Marvin Harrison Jr. out of the Ohio State University. Big, agile, can run, can catch, you know, the quickness, the flexibility, except that, you know, that's going to get all shut down when they play my Wolverines, however. But if that was an opportunity, you know, if I was in the war room for, you know, the draft, definitely taking him as a wide receiver. Just in all, literally, he is a Swiss Army knife of a player that I would have on my team.
Hey, you know, that's why I didn't pick Amon-Ra St. Brown in my offense, because I had a feeling you were going to pick him, but he's going to be box office.
I got to give credit where credit is due. The young man is talented. I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, we're seeing a lot of, you know, Michigan and Buckeye tandem on these NFL teams. I mean, hello, prime example is the Texans game. CJ Stroud to Nico Collins. Ohio State to Michigan, 6 points, touchdown, fourth quarter with 3 minutes left.
Well, I think CJ Stroud needs to start throwing to the other side, not to Nico Collins, but as a result of that.
And listen, he's that guy. You know, they're on the same team. They can do their, you know, rivalries, you know, off the clock, but same uniform, same goal in mind is to make Texans somewhat of a contender this season. So
hey, listen, the Texans, man, look, they got some receivers, man. They got some special. Dameon Pierce, I mean, I'm believers in them. But Gary, your thoughts?
So for my defensive player, Ben, this one's for you. I'm going to go Micah Parsons. I think he is – I know everybody doesn't want to invoke the name Lawrence Taylor, but he's going to be pretty damn close when it's said. I think they'll be 1A and 1B when this thing is all said and done. I think he's a game changer, and he's definitely reinvigorated that Dallas defense because for years, it was Dallas's offense was good. They had the offensive firepower, but they couldn't keep their defense just kept getting worn down and beat up, and they were less. This team, I won't necessarily call them a Super Bowl contender, but they're going to be one of the teams that are as long as he's active and healthy, they're going to be in that conversation. Top defenses in the league. So that's for my defensive player. Offensive, it could be just my like recent memory or just seeing what he's done thus far. But I'm kind of liking CJ Stroud as an NFL quarterback. I don't know what it is necessarily. Sometimes, and it's talked about in various circles, the it factor. There's something there. I don't know.
Really?
I think Houston finally. I know you're gonna talk about.
No, keep going.
I really think, as far as what the prototype of the NFL quarterback, as far as what it has been, he's following the model. He's following the model pretty well. I don't think is going to be the walkovers that they've been for the last few years.
Hey, Gary.
Yeah, it's crazy how that happens. Right? It's crazy to go there and
No, listen. Jeff is soaking up the fact that 2 former Buckeyes have been mentioned in this whole entire segment. He's soaking this all in.
But now,
one current, one past.
If I'm talking about an overall offensive weapon, you really can't go wrong with Justin Jefferson. He makes offenses better. Period. Just it doesn't matter who. He's making Kirk Cousins look well. I can't speak about him and his record, but he makes 1 o'clock Kirk Cousins and 425 Kirk Cousins. Through the first 3 weeks. Anything after that's a little shaky, but he's making like a top 10 quarterback because of just his ability to be the game changer on offense and be just such a weapon. Now, I wish that they had other targets that were as strong, so that would make that Minnesota offense a little bit more potent, but right now he's head and shoulders the best player, the best wide receiver in the game. So,
I mean, listen, I told people that CJ Stroud was going to be the better NFL prospect, but they were trying to make him sound like a dummy because of a goddamn Wanderlic test. And I said that Bryce Young looks like a Make-A-Wish kid playing for his favorite NFL team during training camp. And he missed the game because of durability. But what happened there? I said it. Bryce Young is a Make-A-Wish kid. CJ Stroud was a better prospect. I said that from the very beginning. I think he's going to have the better career. And by the end of this year, he's going to be one of the top 10 best quarterbacks to ever play the game because CJ Stroud is that good. And he went to that great of a school. But I digress. I know how much that makes you feel so happy. But Ben, go ahead.
Hold on. Real quick, I just want to apologize to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Thoughts and views of this broadcast are not necessarily of all the co-hosts. Sorry. Ben.
No, we have respect. I'm just saying Bryce Young looks like a Make-A-Wish kid that wants to play for his favorite NFL team. I'm just saying. There's nothing like I'm going to donate tomorrow to Make-A-Wish. I don't want people to think I'm against it. I'm just saying he looks like
I would have gone Disney movie based in Carolina, a teenage kid that gets to be
No. He looks like a Make-A-Wish kid.
I'm sorry.
Respectfully. Go Buckeyes. But go ahead, Ben. You've been silent.
Yeah, so defense, it's Micah. And honestly, this was a conversation at a family wedding in August where I proposed the question to a few people who are huge sports fans. Bosa on the 49ers or Parsons on the Cowboys, who you choosing? And it was a mixed bag. I said Parsons, and of course I got accused of being a homer. And I said then, and I'll say it now, if Parsons was on the 49ers and Bosa was on the Cowboys, my answer is still Parsons. Parsons does not have a weakness at all. You put him anywhere on the field and he flies. He literally makes offensive tackles on 3rd and long jump false start. I've seen it plenty of times. It's Parsons. I don't want to go too far into this because I don't want to take up too much time. I want to hit up the offense, but it's Parsons. Like, he's the best defensive player in the league. You could put him at corner full time or safety full time. He wouldn't be the best at either, but he would be really good at both. He doesn't have a weakness. It's him as the best defensive player in the league.
He's the best player. You're saying that Micah Parsons is the best player in the league right now.
Defensive
player over a dude that played for 11 years, won 2 Super Bowls, is arguably considered the best linebacker of all time. Are you really saying the level of disrespect? No, I'm kidding. I'm just getting up blood pressure. No, I'm with you, Ben.
Yeah. We good. Can I go to offense?
Yes, you can. I just want to get you pissed off. Go ahead.
And Jeff, actually, you didn't give your offensive, so we'll go to you after this one. So I'll go. I'm going to agree with Gary, Justin Jefferson, and I'm just going to read some of these stats because they're absolutely freaking mind blowing. So his total receiving yards for the first 3 full seasons: 1,400, 1,616, 1,809. His catches the first 3 years: rookie 88, second year 108 catches, last year 128 catches. And I did the math as far as what if he kept up the pace he's at right now, which he probably won't, but I did the math for this exercise here. If he kept up the exact pace he's at right now, what would he finish with? And be ready to have your mind blown. He is currently averaging 135.75 yards per game receiving. Multiply that by 17. It's 2,307. 2,307. Will he get there? Probably not, but that is his current pace right now. Number of catches. His pace right now, he has 33. Multiply that out. His pace for catches is 140. 140 catches, 2,300 receiving yards, and on pace he has 3 touchdowns in 4 games, so that rounds out to 13 touchdowns. So his current pace is 2307 in yards, 140 catches, and 13 touchdowns.
I mean, listen, the numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie. We can talk about it. Let's just kind of keep this thing going here because, Gary, I know that you got to depart soon. Want to kind of keep this under an hour. I'm just good for an offensive player. I'm just going to keep it very, very simple. I like tall, athletic, fast, wide receivers, dudes that can beat you in a multitude of different ways. And I'm going to go DK Metcalf. I'm going to go DK Metcalf because the dude's 6'4", 215 pounds, runs a sub-4 640, is tall, strong, can jump. You can't really beat him. I know his numbers, 324 receptions to 4,400 yards receiving to 13.8 average receptions, 37 touchdowns. And I like young players, and the man turns 26 December 14th. So he has a lot of football left to be played, very durable, has played at least 15 games every single year. I just think he's a very, very solid.
He's an athletic freak. Just call it what it is. He's like literally like, you remember that interception where he chased down that safety?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
2020. I mean, like, the man is a freak of nature, and if he was not in Seattle and he had better quarterback, Geno Smith and Russell Wilson aren't terrible, but if he had like
Allen, Mahomes, Burrow,
he would be up there. He would be up there with the other quarterbacks. I generally do. I think he's as good as advertised. I think he's a top 15 talent. And
Jeff, you got to recognize too, Pete Carroll, for the longest time, he wants to run the ball.
Yeah.
So they are always going to be about, like, they still pass more than run, but they're going to be like 55-45. Exactly. That's his comfort level. That's what he wants to do. He's been successful. So what does that mean? Metcalf's numbers are going to be a little bit lower.
Yeah. I would also go Kenneth Walker I'll go Kenneth Walker as a honorable mention.
Mhm.
Kenneth Walker, I think, is going to be, if he stays healthy, he's going to be something special. But we'll
I want
see.
to thank you for your loss last night. Thank you. Got me a win when I needed.
I mean, I'm not rooting for. I mean, like, I was actually rooting for the Giants in that game because, like, I'm a big Darren Waller fan, and
Man, I don't know, why doesn't he get the ball?
I don't get it.
like, why doesn't he get the ball?
There's two teams, Gary, real quick. There are two teams that I don't get that don't give the ball to their receivers, to their top playmakers.
Atlanta
And the Giants. I don't like Atlanta, Drake London,
Pitts.
They misuse their talented players like nobody's business, and I don't understand it. But Gary, go ahead.
I can't speak for Atlanta, but I think with the Giants, the reason why is the same reason that it has plagued us for the better part of the last decade. When your quarterback has like 9/10 of a second to get a pass off, I don't give a damn how fast you are.
Yeah.
That's borderline impossible.
Yeah, that offensive line
is Swiss cheese. We've had a Swiss cheese junior varsity offensive line through the end of the Eli era and through this Daniel Jones era. Like, the fact that he got sacked 10 times last night, like, and the fact, and I don't know if I was listening to the radio as well as watching the Monday Night Football broadcast. Somebody said, it's amazing how he keeps his composure through all.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yep.
After sack number 5, like, yo, did I piss you all off or something? Like,
yeah.
Why? Like, you know, I'm not trying to make excuses. Like, we have gotten our ass kicked at home now, not once, but twice. We got smacked by Dallas week 1. We took week 2 win against Arizona, which looks a lot better now than it did at the time.
Yeah. Yep.
And then we promptly lost to San Francisco, which was not a shock. And then what was a winnable game, Saquon or not, let's be honest, was winnable. I don't know how long or what day it is. Traveling from the West Coast to the East Coast, there's always a little something. But it didn't have that. Didn't rear its head last night. So
yeah, I think that. Sorry, Gary, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just saying, like, that's the Giants' biggest problem. Is the same problem that we've always had. When your offensive line can't give you more than a second to prepare to pass, and yes, there is the whole Daniel Jones kind of stares down his first target or his intended target for a good 3 or 4 seconds, and he has to stop doing that too. But when you don't have the time to prepare to make a good pass or run your reads, like, you get what you get last night and week 1.
Yeah,
and
I mean, listen, those are all, like, honestly, those are all very fair facts. And I mean, we all saw the game. We were texting. I mean, he got sacked 10 times. I mean, even at the 10 times, his dropbacks, he was pressured at least 50% of the time.
And he must have got sacked by Dallas like 8 times.
Like, Gary, I want to ask, and Gary, I want to ask you this question because I think it's important. Do you think they should have paid Saquon over Daniel Jones?
Yeah. Yeah. You rewarded 15 touchdowns and 5 interceptions with a $140 million contract.
Yeah.
Like, I don't give a damn. Like, you rewarded 15 touchdowns and 5 interceptions with a $140 million contract, and then is only giving your running back table scraps. Like,
yeah, that's
it's all it's doing is feeding Saquon. Although Saquon Barkley's argument can be a little bit
injured
because the injury, but it's also pointing out, like, hey, when I'm injured, your offense is non-existent. Because you understand, like, we have scored in those 3 losses a combined, let's see, 0, 3, and 12. So 15 points in 3 losses combined.
Yes.
I said it jokingly before, but I really meant it. I don't give a damn who you are. Averaging 0 points per game won't get you a championship. So
I mean, and Ben, before I throw it to you, I mean, I think that this is a prime example. Like, you can't treat running backs in a whole because certain running backs mean more to the teams versus others. And Saquon has a unique skill set, and there have been plenty of games where they have struggled. But what did they do, Gary? Gave him the rock, went for a 20 to 25-yard run, get them in field goal position. They get the field goal, they win the game. Daniel Jones. Go ahead.
I'm saying Saquon is, if nothing else, one of the great decoys in the game too, because then you know people are going to take their focus and put it on him, and now it gives you the opportunity to then spread your offense. Yeah. Without him, there is no spreading of that offense.
Exactly. But Ben, did you have any other thoughts? I just want to do top five.
No, I was just gonna say I kind of skipped over power ranks. I wanted to go to takeaways if that's okay.
Let's do that. Let's do takeaways. So, Ben,
I got a couple. Yeah.
Okay. Honestly, to me, first takeaway. When are we going to fire Matt Canada? Because that offensive performance against the Texans was absolutely embarrassing. Yep. And D, if you're watching, I know you're not necessarily a fan of trying to fire coaches in the middle of the season, but I mean, 30-6 against a very underwhelming Texans team that had the second overall pick in the draft last year to muster 6 points against a top-bottom defense kind of warrants a firing. And then also, it is time to fire Vance Joseph. Yeah, I said it. They got to go. But Ben, yours, and then Gary, and then go to your gripes, Gary, and then we will conclude.
So I got one coaching, and then one. I know we talked about him, but I just CJ Stroud deserves a lot of praise. So I'm going to go to the coaching first. So Washington is down 30. First of all, they're down 31-24. They have 64 yards to go for a touchdown, and they got 1:36. So they go down the field. It wasn't necessarily pretty, but they go down. They literally get to the 10-yard line with 2 seconds left, and they get a touchdown. So now it's 31-30. You're playing the Eagles, who is clearly a superior team to the Commanders. Clearly, the Eagles roster is much better than Washington. You're on the road. You go for the win in regulation. You don't go to overtime. You say, listen, we're going to win this game right now, or we are going to lose this game right now. I think that they absolutely should have gone for 2, gone for the jugular. And if you don't make it, guess what? You lose. But if you do make it, what's that?
Who are you talking about?
I'm talking about the Commanders, the end of the game, the Commanders, they scored a touchdown to make it 31-30. I'm saying that they made an absolutely horrible choice to kick the extra point. You go for the win. You're the worst team. The Eagles are the better team, and it's on the road. You go for the win. What happened to Riverboat Ron? You don't let it go to overtime. You say, listen, we're going for 2. We're either going to win the game or we're going to lose.
I mean, those are all facts. I mean, Gary, your thoughts?
Horrible mistake. Onto CJ Stroud, which I know you guys talked about already. He has, first of all, the Texans were supposed to be pretty bad. He's got them 2-2, tied in the AFC South with 3 teams, actually. So the Colts, the Jaguars, and the Texans are all 2-2. So CJ Stroud got him 2-2 and has been missing 3 out of the 5 projected starting offensive linemen for all 4 games, and has 0 interceptions in 4 games, 6 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions, and over 300 yards per game on average, 1,212 passing yards, which is 303 per game. As a rookie with Nico Collins and Tank Dell and Damian Pierce as your best players.
I mean, listen, the facts. Listen, the facts are facts. I have no complaints on that. Gary, your thoughts, your thoughts, takeaways, and then your gripes, and then we will conclude, sir.
Chicago sucks. God awful. Like, congratulations to your Broncos, because necessary first win. That game should have been a blowout, and then the Bears did some of the best losing that I've ever seen.
And the
I
Broncos
thought
won. That's all that
I
matters.
thought
We're going to
originally, where we all thought that Arizona was tanking for Caleb Williams, I thought
Chicago.
I thought that I thought the Arizona loss to the Giants was bad, but then Chicago once again said, "Hold my beer, I got you." Like, that was as bad as it gets. Cincinnati, yikes.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these big bags is looking real ugly right now. Just a lot.
You ain't lying. You ain't lying.
Baker Mayfield. Okay, like I did not have Tampa Bay being relevant in my on my bingo card this year, but here we are, and
they won at New Orleans. Tough place to play, and New Orleans is supposed to be better. And it wasn't a close game either. They smacked them.
Right, like, it's not a matter of who knew. I just think, like, who knew that he needed. He had to find the right fit. And I think that's always been the story with Baker Mayfield. Like, Cleveland in that time frame was the right fit, and then he's been fighting to find the right fit. He had that magic moment on Monday Night Football when he was
last year with the Rams. Yeah,
he had that magic moment. He's written that to a contract with Tampa Bay, and he's got a starting job, and he looks good. And frankly, if you tell me that Tampa Bay wins that NFC South, it really wouldn't shock me at this point. I know I said New Orleans because I felt like they had the most weapons and the best firepower, but
I think we all said New Orleans before the season.
And then lastly, Bill Belichick really misses Tom Brady. I'm pretty sure he won't admit it, but
by the way, worst loss. Give my team a little bit of credit. Worst loss as a head coach. Worst loss as a head coach. 35 points. Worst loss as a head coach.
Real quick. Can we just say it? Bill Belichick is not Bill Belichick anymore. Like, I don't know. It's been 4 seasons now. I don't know what else you need to prove. Well, just real quick. I'm not saying if you're Robert Kraft, you have to consider getting rid of Bill Belichick, but you gotta start.
So Jeff, as a head coach in the NFL, Cleveland, New England. So we're not talking about DC, defensive coordinator. As a head coach, facts are facts, numbers don't lie. And maybe they don't tell the entire story, but they don't lie. Without Brady as a head coach, he's under 500.
Yeah.
Yep. So, yeah, like that. Those are just some of my thoughts from week 4. Now, as far as my gripes, I want to say this as clear as possible. I don't care about Travis Kelce. He might be a good person, salt of the earth, but he is a tight end for a team in the AFC. So why would I care about him? I don't care about Taylor Swift. But that Sunday Night Football, up until the Jets deciding to make it a game, was going to be all about her, drove me crazy. I understand her star power. I understand why this might be the come up of all come ups for Travis Kelce. And I understand, like, there's this notion to have them be the vanilla Beyonce and Jay-Z. I get that. But I couldn't watch that damn game because of it. Like, I'm tuning.
Taylor Swift does not play football. We're watching the game to watch football.
The fact that there are people who really said, "Oh, now people didn't know who Travis Kelce was before he dated Taylor Swift." It's like, no, a small segment of the world didn't know who Travis Kelce was before he dated Taylor Swift. But because my wife said something along the same lines, and I'm like, time out. Travis Kelce is widely regarded as the best tight end in all of football. All of football.
Yeah, trying to make
Like,
something out of nothing.
like but this speaks to
The society.
the society global reach. It's like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
want this to continue to be a thing because all I know, here's what's going to happen. If they break up, the album that's going to come from that's going to win all the Grammys. I mean, every category, maybe even gospel and rap. You don't know, but there's going to be an album that comes from that. If the Chiefs don't win the Super Bowl, it's going to be her fault. Like, keep this shit private. Why are we doing this? Because, like, I don't want to see another game where it's like, oh, we're just watching. Like, literally after every play, it was cameras on Taylor Swift and her friends in the stand in the suite.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, Gary. I get it, and I don't agree with it. I still think, I mean, but it's Taylor Swift, though. I get it. Like, I don't like it personally. But the NFL is trying to reach other demographics. And if they can show Taylor Swift having an interest in football, they're going to do it because they know that all the girls are probably going to watch football now.
Money talks.
Buy jerseys because Taylor Swift's at the game. I mean, Travis Kelce's Instagram increased by 300,000 hits. And his
jersey sales was like 400% more or something like that. 400%.
And then on top of that, like Travis Kelce's mother, you think of the Swift, DeAndre Swift, like there's so many different parallels with it all. And I think it's a great marketing ploy. I really think it is. I think it's an opportunity for them to be able to reach other target audiences because of what she brings.
It comes down to dollars. She's bringing in more dollars because she's bringing in more jersey sales. She's bringing in more viewers to the TV. NFL cares about dollars. She's bringing in more. And Gary, I'm right there with you. I want to watch football. I want to watch the football.
She's getting paid.
I don't want to know, but it is all dollars. It's dollars.
But she's getting paid. She ain't just going there for no, they're paying her. She ain't going there just play.
Listen, I watched most of that game on mute as a result. Like, I love Mike Rico. I love Chris Collinsworth. But Jesus, that was as brutal as it got. But fortunately, as weird as I'm saying this, I thank the New York Jets for making that a game because then they couldn't keep going to her. Now they had to focus on, I don't know, the actual action on the field. And the fact that it was a close game and it was a 3-point victory and it was down to the final seconds, that last first down run by Mahomes, like, we thank you. That's what we needed last night. We didn't need it to be the Taylor Swift show, Sunday night. It didn't need to be the Taylor Swift show on NBC. One last break. I warned everybody before about the plight of New York sports. And look at what's happened. Yankees, congratulations on making a 31st straight year of the winning record, but 82-80. The Mets did their best impersonation of the New York Mets. Like, anybody that was surprised by this finish, you're not a real Mets fan. Giants, yikes. Jets, yikes. I am worried for the Rangers. I'm worried for the Knicks. I'm worried for the Islanders. I'm worried for the Nets. Well, the Nets were. I think they overachieved last year anyway. But
New York, they're in the WNBA finals. I mean, we got to.
I'm worried about them too. I hope y'all win. I want the Liberty to win. If they do that, then that can kind of break the streak because right now it's looking real 0-4 as far as our sports teams in the playoffs in 23. So,
okay, I respect it. But guys, it has been fun. I'm glad we were able to get the group back together. This is the best time in sports.
Yes.
I mean, you got
NBA is coming right around the corner.
NBA, NHL, baseball playoffs. I mean, Broncos winning. I mean, what more could you ask for? I mean, the Broncos are 1-3. They're about to win this thing. They're about to go on the streak. But let me ask you this one question. Ben and Gary, what is the one thing that you're looking forward to these next coming months in sports? It could be anything. What's one storyline that you two are looking to follow?
So I'm going to say the NBA is very, 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 very intriguing. with all these moves, all these trades. Like, what are the Celtics going to be? What are the Bucks going to be? What are the Suns
You
going
like
to
that
be?
trade?
What it huh? Which
We
one?
need
Like what the Celtics
Which
did?
trade? Which trade? What the
The
Celtics
Celtics.
trade?
What
For
they
a
did
holiday? For a
What they
holiday?
did off season, the whole off season. Like I don't know.
I believe they are good trades because the way that I explained it, because my brother-in-law is, huge Celtics fan, same with my wife, their whole family is really, really into the Celtics. The way I explained it to them, and whether or not it's right or not, the Celtics are making the bet that their top 6 or top 7 is better than everybody else's top 6 or top 7. That's the route that the Suns have chosen to go. That's the route the Bucks have chosen to go. That's the route the Bucks have chosen to go that route. The Sixers, I guess, are going that route. The Celtics are the only team out of the lake. So there's 2 teams out of people who possibly could win that aren't going the top 6 route. It's the Nuggets and the Lakers. All the other top teams, our top 6 is better than your top 6. That's what they're doing. Might be right, might be wrong, but that's the bet that those teams are making.
Okay. All right. That's fair. Gary?
So the thing that I was looking forward to was trying to figure out Jimmy Butler's hairstyle, but
Oh Lord. That was hideous.
in lieu of that, I think, like you said, the third week of October is going to be so lit with the start of the NBA season, start of the NHL season. You got football in the swing of things. You got baseball deep in the playoffs. The division series and then the league championship series. So like it's that this is like you said, this is my favorite time of the year just for this very reason. But then, really with the NBA, I want to see will Dame and Giannis work in Milwaukee. I think it wasn't a trade that I had on my radar, but then the more that I looked at the trade and the way that I see their games meshing together, this can be very interesting. I don't think you're going to see the Dame Lillard of just dropping 35 a night. I don't think he needs to now. I think if he can settle into that 25 to 30 range to go alongside Giannis, and if you give me a healthy Chris Middleton, they're right back in the middle of that argument. And
the Bucks are trying to replicate the team that just won the championship with the 2-man game. Jokic and Murray, Giannis and Lillard. It's the same general idea. It's the same idea.
And then you got the Lakers who are trying to squeeze the most out of AD and LeBron, whoever's left there, and like you got the Warriors still trying to make some noise. I'm interested to see what Dallas is gonna bounce back. There's a lot there.
Yeah,
Look,
is gonna be.
There's a lot of NBA storylines. You're right.
Here's what I'm gonna say. In the East, it's really down to 3 or 4 teams. It's either Boston, Milwaukee, Sixers,
Miami.
Miami's like number 4.
But Boston and Milwaukee are like up here.
Yeah,
they're like, up here, and then the other 2 are like here.
I just don't. I like at the end of the day, the trades for Boston, when you compare them against the rest of the East, is definitely up there with Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. But man, they sacrificed a lot of depth. I don't think they needed Drew Holiday. I don't think they needed Kristaps Porzingis. I think they should have kept the core that they did, get a new coach, add 2 or 3 new pieces. They would have been just as deep because Robert Williams, man, I mean, that's a tough loss.
So
now
I think so go ahead, sorry.
You're relying on Al Horford. Like, you know what you're getting with him. And I just don't and Porzingis is injury prone. You're gonna go small ball against 2 teams that have great bigs and Giannis, Lopez, and then you gotta go
and then Jokic possibly.
And then Jokic. And then you got Embiid. Like I just I don't know.
It's really good points. Really good points. Yeah.
Depth. And then the West, I don't think the Suns are going to be even a top 4 team. I think they're going to struggle to make the play-in, not because of talent, but because of injuries. I'm saying it now. They're going to win 42, 43 games, not because of talent, but they just can't stay healthy.
Oh, yeah. And, all them guys, Booker, Beal, and Durant, Lengthy injury histories.
Continuity, defense is going to be a problem. But I like that Grayson outside. But anyway, guys, it has been fun. To all of our listeners, we appreciate all the support, all the love, all the kindness. We'll be back again next Tuesday for episode 106 of the Death, Taxes, and Sports Podcast. Until next time, peace and love. Hail Von Miller.